How's it going, everyone? My name is True Underdog, and today we're here to talk about Kotal Kahn, because this character now has Kotal Kahn mains very excited, and at the same time other players are already complaining about how good he's become and are already asking for nerfs. Yes, this is real. He's apparently really good now. But let's go ahead and see what all the hype is about. So first up, let's talk about the universal changes. So this move, forward 1, now starts up in 10 frames. So it's faster now, and pretty dang good range on this move too. And being 1 frame faster means it's that much better for punishing, which is good, because as a punish, this will crushing blow for a combo extension, which is very good. And now it's going to be much better at that. Before, you pretty much needed the counter hit, because very few moves are minus 11 outside of special moves. So now it's just that much better. Starts up in 10 frames, very good. And this move does jail, by the way. If you hit the opponent with a down 3 or a down 1, they are forced to block this even if they duck. You just have to land that low poke first. And next up we have this string. And this one kind of falls into variation territory. I want to cover the universal stuff first, but this second hit is now -6 on block. That might sound like a bad thing, but it's not, and here's why. We now have tech throw strings. That's right, that's the command grab in variation 1. If the opponent blocks, they will get snagged by that. They want you to finish the string, you catch them, boom. And you can actually jail with this too if you do it correctly. And then boom, you get the command grab and some decent damage. The opponent is now scared. They want to jump away, right? They want to counterattack. Well, better be careful because that hit is now better too. This thing is now plus on block and has increased pushback. It's pretty darn good. So let's see it on block. Boom. It is now +1 on block and has some pretty good distance, which means time to get those counter hits, right? The opponent presses the button, catch him with this. It's not quite the right range, but if they press a button and extend their hitbox, boom, catch him with this. So that's one of the big meta changes with Kotal Kahn in variation 1. If you block, he has the option to either finish it and be plus and try to fish out a counter hit, or if you're too patient, he'll just throw you over and over and over again. And you can't duck this, it is a command grab. So you gotta interrupt that third hit or jump away, one of the two. But if you guess wrong, he will snag you out of the sky with that third hit because you can't escape that. You could jump to escape the command grab, to be sure, but you can't escape that third and final hit. So if you guess wrong, he gets the knockdown, and he is very, very plus on hit if he lands that knockdown. He can do pretty much whatever he wants to you at that point. Look how plus I am. Even this slow move, which is 19 frames on startup, was so fast that it actually missed because the opponent still hadn't gotten up yet. That's how crazy that move is on hit. And on block, it's still good as well. Now there is a bit of a weakness here. That second hit does have a gap, so it's very vulnerable to certain counterattack options like flawless blocks and stuff of that nature, but it's still a very big improvement in my opinion, because beforehand all Kotal Kahn could do was like this, a single hit into it, so either a standing jab or a crouching jab. That's pretty much all he had for tech throw setups, but now, similar to Nightwolf, he does have a string that's now a mind game. He can either finish it and catch you trying to escape, or if you block, he can just throw you and get pretty good damage. And last but not least, for the universal changes, we have his 2-2-1. So this is now so good on hit that it can actually combo from mid-screen. Now it's not the easiest thing to do, it does require a dash cancel and to press a button pretty fast after you dash, so it's certainly not the easiest combo to pull off, but at the same time it doesn't cost you any meter, which means Kotal Kahn now has 2 ways to combo you without spending any meter. And he gets pretty decent damage here as well, look at this. Boom. 227, that ain't half bad, required no effort on my end, just boom, 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 and I get the damage. And that's not even optimal. Kotal Kahn can do much better than that, but now even this string combos as well with no meter, and it does have a low mix-up in there. It's not going to catch many players, but it's a very fast move, so it's great for that reason. And once again, this move can jail if you land a low poke. And that's about it for his universal changes, but please tell me down in the comments if I missed something juicy, especially you Kotal Kahn mains. And without any further ado, let's move on to the variation changes. So for starters, his command grab is now a little bit better. So if you do amplify this for a bit more of that juicy damage, you can now control which direction you throw the opponent. And that is just fantastic. So before, if you had the opponent cornered, you didn't have the option. You had to choose. Do I want to give up the damage, or do I want to get that damage buff and lose the corner advantage? Which one do I want? Do I want corner advantage, or do I want the damage buff and a better combo as well? You had to make the choice, but now if you spin the bar, you no longer have to choose. When you amplify it by default, he will still switch sides, but if you don't want that, you just hold the button, and he tosses them in front. So now you keep the corner, and you get the damage buff, and your combo does the most damage as well, the best of every world. Now unfortunately by default you can't actually control which direction you toss them, so for the regular version he will always switch sides, but they're also pretty close and perfect for this move, and you're very advantageous on hit, so they have to deal with this thing unless they want to spend bar for an invincible wake up, otherwise this will catch them. And that's still pretty darn good. So you can't choose which side for the regular version, but it's still very good for wake up pressure and all that good stuff. And that's honestly about it for variation 1, though once again he does now have this tech throw attack string, which is very good. Great meta, especially online when players won't have the skill or timing to flawless block, especially not in a bad connection with very high ping. So it's going to be very tough for them to escape this. They pretty much have to guess. Is he going to throw me? I'm going to jump, or I'm going to interrupt. No, you're not. You're going to get snagged by that. Very good on hit, plus 41, do whichever you want. And even if they do block it, still very good on block, plus 1. No matter what, you're still positive. If they block or get hit, it's still your turn. And honestly, there's not much to say about variation 2, so let's go ahead and skip on to variation 3, which I think might become the most popular option, and let me show you why. So the main reason is this disc right here. Now by default, this move actually has a better time getting crushing blow now. The distance has been reduced, so now it's a bit easier to get that crushing blow, but that's not what makes this variation good. That's a universal change. What makes this variation good is the amplified version. So it's now much better on hit, especially if the opponent's in the air. It will combo, which means it's one of your best ways to end combos. And look at that, look how plus it is on hit. You know what that means? Free totem summon. If you land this on an airborne opponent, free totem summon. I'm not good at timing it, but it is guaranteed totem summon. Very good for that. Now you get a damage buff because that totem does give you a damage buff, and he has 2. This one is also pretty darn good. He has 2 different totems in this build, and if he lands this, it's now very easy to summon that totem. Once again, I don't have the timing down. I am not a Kotal Kahn main, but even so, it is still a very good way to summon those totems. And perhaps the most exciting of all, look at this move on block. -1, which means your hit confirms are now amazing. So this move on block, not good at all. Very risky. It's a great way to start off combos without spending meter, but it's -16. Now if they block it though, spin that bar, boom, keep yourself safe. It will catch people. Before, you had to hope they wouldn't punish it, or you try to finish it because that last hit is actually pretty good on block, you know, only -5, but now, don't worry about that. Just cancel into this toss, and you are good to go. And even if you do hit them, it's a bad hit confirm read, you still catch them and get the damage, not too bad, and once again, a totem summon. So it's good on hit or on block, but the main idea is if they block it, you can spin that bar and keep yourself safe, but if you land it, you now get a combo. Fantastic stuff. And this can also work for 2-2-1 as well. You have time to hit confirm that move. Do the first 2 hits, if it's blocked, it actually is fairly minus. So if you look at this, -9, punish city, right? Opponent gets a full combo, but now you spin the bar, maybe you catch them, and now it's just -1. But if you get the hit, finish it, and then start your combo, end with the meter burn disc toss, and then get your totem summon. Very good. 2 very good hit confirms in this variation, which is honestly really good because he does not have the con cut in this build, which is your go-to way for extending combos. He does not have this in variation 2 or variation 3. Instead, he does rely on these meterless options. And now he has that, and he summons the totem too. Now unfortunately there is a bit of a gap here, especially on the back 2-2. If the opponent reacts very quickly, they could possibly interrupt you, but you could also try and finish it, and that will actually beat a throw, for example, and some other moves. It comes out pretty darn quick. So once again, it's a bit of a mind game. If you go for the disc toss to keep yourself safe, they could interrupt it, but if you go for the natural ender, which is just 3, then they're going to have a much tougher time interrupting that. They still can with down 1, but that's not a very big deal, right? Not a full combo. And for 2-2, the string is honestly much smaller. You can't even squeeze out a throw there, so the gap is much smaller, going to be a lot tougher to interrupt. And if they're too eager, once again, you'd catch them with that 3rd hit and get a meterless launcher, so they gotta be careful here. And honestly, I do think the main deal is that totem summon. You just get that guaranteed is a very big deal. I think that has players the most excited because while there is a gap and the opponent could exploit your block strings, it's not the best idea. On hit, this thing is just a monster now. You get that guaranteed totem setup. If you master that timing, the opponent can't do nothing to you. And if they have no projectiles and no good teleports, you could even do 2 before they close that gap. and now you're doing a lot more damage than you otherwise would. And since Kotal Kahn does have meterless combo options, that makes him very, very scary. He's now doing pretty good damage without spending any of that bar. And that's about it for Kotal Kahn's changes. He does seem a lot more powerful now, and that has me very excited. I want to see more Kotal Kahn players at tournaments. But please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and please mention anything I missed about Kotal Kahn's update. And then while you're down there, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help my channel out a ton. And finally, why not keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell? That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.